All right, what is up, everybody? It is Ted here with Bodies and Wicks. Sorry for that loud craziness that I had going on in there. Decided to try a new intro and a little bit louder than I thought. To be honest, whenever you do these things, you really don't have much room to test it out, but I had this song had to do something with had to do with crazy in here, to be the least, and to say what's been going on with that the last couple weeks, couple days, definitely last couple weeks, things have gotten a little bit crazy in here. And that was a band called 8-Inch Betsy, good friends of mine. Sure they wouldn't mind if I used their song. Singer is God rest her soul in heaven right now. Great person, but he was always loved. But aside from that, I won't bring anybody down with anything like that. I just want to get to what has been going on recently, huh? Anyways, I'm Ted here, Bodies and Wicks. What I usually do is I go over market structure, market anything basically. And primarily I have been focused on crypto markets. Have been Forex markets, have been indice markets. Any kind of market that I see a vulnerability in and a way to exploit that vulnerability, I will try to find a way to make sense of it and make money out of it. For those of you who do enjoy money, which I'm sure you do, and those of you who want to learn how to make more money, I will suggest doing two things. Yes, one, hit that like button. That like button will actually put me out there, get me known to people who never heard of me before, because it will suggest me to new videos of people who make videos, things like this, and also hit that subscribe button. That way you can never miss a beat of whatever I put out ever again. I have been slowing down my content lately only because I have been learning a lot more, and the more I learn, the more I feel like I bring to the table. So instead of me bringing out 2-3 videos a week, or maybe 3 or 4 times a week, then maybe not include a lot of substance in them. It's just going through the motions. And now that I've been learning a lot more and digging a lot deeper, I feel like these videos have become a little bit more advanced, entertaining, and also where I kind of show you places to look at and places to be aware of, I guess you could say. First what we'll do is I'll give it that off of there real quick. First what we'll do is we'll go through the first I've been doing the top 10-20 cheapest altcoins that could turn around and make us some good money. The very beginning it did very well because, well, we were at the very getting toward the very peak of the Bitcoin altcoin season. Is the season over? Well, that is another good question. We'll get to that in just a second as well. But also, what kind of coins should you be investing in? Again, I am not a financial advisor. I am not a broker. I am nothing but a nobody, but anybody on the internet who likes to study price action, who likes to look at these markets. And to me, looking at graphs and looking at numbers and trying to make sense out of them is a fun thing for me to do. So that's why I do this, and I do it in a way that I hope I can make everybody else see that there is something in this that they can also jump into, especially if you're new to the investing game, if you're new to the stock market game, especially if you're new to the crypto game. I've been a part of all of them. When the crypto game is actually made me the most excited because I see it kind of as a secondary stock market now, and it's really, really interesting as to what is going on in the crypto world, in the crypto space, and it's blown to proportions, and I feel like we are just at the very, very forefront of, you know, what was, you know, the beginning of stocks back in stock market age. We're opening up a new market for these kinds of things, and it's coming in a completely different form, but it's following the same rules as what the old traditional markets have been. So it's interesting mix. It's a very interesting mix to see what is going on today. I could be more excited to see what's going to play out in the future. Yeah, we have seen a couple, you know, especially if you've been playing along and you've been following along, we have been seeing some interesting things happen in the last couple of weeks. You know, Bitcoin reaches all-time high, almost 60,000, drops down almost to 40,000, and, you know, now we're kind of in the middle. Same with Ethereum, you know, we thought we'd get up at least to almost 2,500, 3,000 before the end of February, at least mid-February, and then once it got to 2,000, it dropped back down somewhere in the 1,300s. It's popped back up since then. But we're going to go through a lot of this, and we'll see what happens. Generally, the YouTube does not like my video. Right now, it seems to be enjoying it quite well, so I'm actually quite surprised from that. So we will see what we can get through, and we'll see what we can't get through. But first of all, let's just go ahead and head on over to some charts. First, let's take a look at the top 10. The first top 10 I think I did would be this one right here, or was this the new top 10? Let me double check and make sure that I have the correct top 10s in here. There we go. There we go. Now we are on the very first top 10 video I did, and I am going to make this down to the hourly market. That way I can easily kind of hone in on when I made these videos. Plus, a lot of these have the markings from when I did these. And actually, before I have that, actually have it on the wrong chart analysis. So, of course, I'm always, I feel like I'm always so prepared for these kind of things, and then once I get ready for them, I'm actually not prepared at all. So, we're getting ready to bring this up, and so hang with me. I will be there in just one moment. First, if you have a comment, question, anything like that, please do let me know in the comment section. And of course, it is telling me YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain a public streaming. Of course that would happen. Also, I am not seeing, okay, there it is. Here I say I'm not seeing the live chats, but now I'm seeing the live chats as well. So it may just be a YouTube thing. They love doing this to me. Love telling me that there's not enough whatever it is to be going around. It could be because of my background. I am not 100% sure what it is, but you know what? To get rid of that, let's just go ahead and transition over to what I have going on, and here we go. So, this is the top 10, and if we were going to back to the original top 10, here is what we would have going right now. Now, one of the first ones I called was 1 inch, and 1 inch has definitely just been one of those ones where I thought would actually have some kind of movement going. And when I first started this a couple weeks ago, it did have some momentum going, and then it has just kind of flatlined. So these may be one of the ones, and I'm probably going to be taking notes as I go along to see if I should be removing some of these from these top 10 lists, because you know, if they're not making anybody money, if they're not making me money, what's the point of having them? Instead, maybe what we're doing, if you do have something, get over to something else that could be potentially on the upside to me. So I know I did have 1 inch, I'm not gonna lie, and I swapped it over for a different coin, and I will get to that coin in just a little bit. But I'm taking notes right now as the 1 inch. A lot of people thought it would be doing a lot better than what it did, and it is not. It's really not outperformed anything, and it could be just because it's having a bad week, just like the rest of everything else. But it's been about the only one it's kind of consistent, but then also fell off. So 1 inch, kind of going down the drain. Not really down the drain, but not as having a better week as it could. Second was Mana, or I think I forget what the actual name of Mana is. I want to say Compound, not Compound. On here with me, I would be able to tell you. I do own a little bit of this as well, and Decentraland, that was called, I knew it was nowhere near Compound. Compound is something completely different, but Decentraland is what Mana is. Whenever I did this video, at the week later, it was way up. Still stayed above, and of course this past week we have seen nothing but a little bit of the downside of this, which honestly again is not a bad thing. And if you look at it, what we have here is, whenever you take a look at these two spikes down here, you see them both kind of hitting the same spot line. It means that there is some kind of resistance there, though it doesn't seem to be looking like it's going to get below 18 cents, which can honestly be a good thing, especially if you're getting close to that point. You would know, hey, this might be a good time to pull a trigger. This might be a good time to get in this. This might be, you know, the time to unload, you know, depending on what kind of money you have, what kind of fundamentals you're looking at. You know, Decentraland may be looking good for you, so I will keep an eye out on that as well. So you know, it's not been a bad investment. I think I got in when it was about around 22 cents or so, and yeah, it's probably right around the same area. So, you know, hey, I gained some. I didn't sell at the time I probably needed to, but I didn't lose any at the same time. I'm a hodler, and unless it depends on what kind of coin it is, then I might just be in for a quick in and out. I'm not the one that likes to type to trade on leverage, unless especially right now. It's going to be, you know, hitting up with a bull run soon. I'll wait for some confirmations on that, and then I might be trading on leverage and showing you people how to do that. But if you're trying to build a portfolio, I'm trying to find the cheapest coins for you to try to build a portfolio with. That is my whole intentions with this right now. So next up would be Qtum. Whenever I first put this out, again, right around $4 or so, it jumped as high as almost almost $9, about $8.90 or so, and then after that it has decided to slide down quite a bit, almost about a 50% loss, if I want to say. So hope you weren't one of those people that got in at the very high. If we're looking at from top to the bottom, yeah, it is about a 50% loss from the top to right around the area to where I called it, to look out for this one. It jumped up really quickly. Now the thing and I'll get to this later, especially once we get to Bitcoin and Ethereum. The things with things jumping up very, very quickly, everybody thinks that this is an oh my god moment, like this is gonna be it, this is gonna be the one that takes off and it's never gonna come back. That is a myth. Hate to tell you, I don't know who all believes that in these kind of areas. Any kind of price action that just kind of takes off, it's going to come back. You know, it's like sending an astronaut to the moon. Are they going to stay at the moon forever? No. You know, I mean, we call it mooning for a reason, because it looks like they're going to take off to the moon. But I hate to tell you, we got to bring the guy back to Earth. Whether it be fast, whether it be slow, you know, whether we make some adjustments along the way to where it can still stabilize and be heading toward that moon, those are different questions to ask altogether. So just be aware that if something is mooning, doesn't mean that it is not going to stop mooning. It also doesn't mean that it's going to moon forever. So these are the kind of things I like to throw at people, let them understand that, you know, hey, altcoin markets, Bitcoin markets, Ethereum markets, these things are not meant to always go up in a huge decline, especially if you see something decline like, incline like this is such a huge percentage, a huge something fast. I would personally be worried that it's going to come back, falling back soon. And I'll get to my personal story about Bitcoin about that in just a second. And then here is number 4 on my first top 10, Algo. Algo, I still think is a huge strong possibility. I really like Algo, even though of course it still did have its moment this past week to where it fell down, went sideways. You know, it's still kind of also on the up and up, and from the point that I called it, which was 2 Sundays ago, it's still above that. So if I would have been the one that threw in right at the same time to where I call it, I'd be up right now. May not be a whole lot of up, but it would still be up, and that is the main thing. So I like to do the price range bars here. If we went from low to what it is currently at now, you know, 36%. Hey, nothing wrong with that at all. And yes, I do smoke on my own channel, and I don't care, because it is my channel. Little kids shouldn't be watching this anyway, because they should not be learning how to play with money. So you shouldn't smoke either. Smoking is bad for you. I will eventually quit, I promise you. If you send me more money, I promise I will quit. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But I will definitely be quitting. If you want to, you can become a Patreon. The link is in the description. The Patreon basically allows you to help me continue thriving. The more Patreons I get, basically what I will tell Patreon members is that I will definitely build them out you know, basically a plan, a devised plan on whatever kind of asset they want. I study a lot of price action. I know you probably don't think I have the credentials to prove it, but I do. And if we ever get into one-on-one conversation, you ever want to send me a message, I will definitely be more than willing to talk to anybody and everybody about what I have been able to do in the past and what I am doing right now, to let you know that I'm not here to try to steal anybody's money, but I do want to work with people and to try to help them gain the best that they can be. I've actually been tasked by my mother lately to build her a portfolio of cryptocurrencies, and that's been interesting to, because it's, family's involved, and you got to figure out, hey, what's best with your family, not just what you want to do. I want to go full, like, 75% Cardano and like a little bit of Ether, a little bit of Bitcoin, and that kind of thing. But you got to think long term, and you don't want to take too many risks with your parents' money. So it's interesting. Anyway, I'm going down the rabbit hole a little bit. Next one, Iota. Iota has been pretty strong. Not gonna lie. Ever since I called it a couple weeks ago, back in the 57.4 to 54 range, it has then since almost doubled. Way more than doubled, actually. Almost 3x'd, I want to say. Well, definitely 3x'd. From the time I called it to it is high, or to its most recent high, which was about $1.60. That was about 188% increase. It has then lowered back down to about still, we're about 100% increase right now. We're doubled. So hey, you can't go wrong with Iota being doubled right now. And I think it's still going to be one of those ones, even though it's sideways, it hasn't been downwards, right? A lot of what we've been seeing lately is a lot of downwards action from some of these altcoins. Iota really hasn't been doing that. It's been moving sideways, and that is a good sign. There's still a lot of healthy momentum in there. If you want to look at some of the other indicators like you would normally look at, like the MACD, the RSI, I use a double RSI just because I like to see what kind of sudden movements were happening with a smaller, like a 14 period versus a longer period such as a 29. So you can see if it's been a little bit more erratic versus a little bit more stable. And it seems to be doing fairly well as far as both are concerned. So I do like Iota. I think it's going to be another one that's going to continue growing. And if we wanted to, what I would like to do, and I probably will do, is let's head over to CoinMarketCap, wherever that is. There it is. And let's see what Iota is currently at right now. I want to see where we are at in the rankings and whatnot. So number 25. Actually, that's pretty surprising. I thought it was a little bit lower than that. But yeah, Iota's been making some moves. Of course, on most of the exchanges, and some pretty good people backing Iota, and we'll see how this one goes. I like I said, I really do like Iota. I think it's one of the reasons why I did put it in my first top 10, and it has continued to perform. Next one, Swissborg. Swissborg has been, actually it got up there. It somehow made a really big spike. This may have been the day that Janet Notel and Yellen went absolutely nuts on the whole crypto thing, and I'm not for sure why Swissborg decided to go extremely high compared to most things, but it did, and it is still just barely raising above right where I was when I called it. Right now it's about the exact same place to where I called it, so hey. And again, one of the reasons I did like Swissborg in the beginning is because it did have all these spikes down, right? All these spikes down tells me that there's people probably trying to trade this on leverage, trying to go up, trailing their stop losses too short, and then the institutions know that they'll push it back down, knock those people out of the trade, take their money, and then continue going like upward. But since it's been going sideways, we really haven't been seeing a whole lot of that downward spike movement. So I kind of wonder if it's coming to a rough patch and if it's kind of slowing down. Next, the more expensive one I have on here, actually no, that works. But that's this Cardano. But it is beginning to be a little bit more expensive, that's for sure. Cardano holding its own, going way above and beyond what I even thought I expected. When I covered this, I'm sure a lot of people had their sights on Cardano a long time ago, back when it was back in 18-cent land. I hope you were, and I hope you were putting a lot of money into it, because now it has finally reached way over the dollar, finally over the dollar mark. I think about this time last week or a little bit earlier, it was probably around 98 cents, somewhere in the 90s. And then with the recent plunge of prices, it has actually went up in price, plunging like the rest of them, and it is now at almost $1.20. Got as high as about $1.50. So I have heard rumors about a fork on Cardano. I'm not 100% sure on that. Somebody might have to double check me on my research there. But I know my friends have been talking about a fork in Cardano, such as like when Bitcoin did Bitcoin SV, Bitcoin Cash, things like that. Cardano might have a fork coming up, and that might be the driving of the prices. Now, that being said, let me remind you of something that happened in the stocks market. In the stocks market, Tesla and Apple also introduced that they would be basically splitting their stocks, because their stocks are very high priced. Give the company the same evaluation, but they thought if they lowered the stock, it would bring more investors in to buy more of the stock. And what had happened is that leading up to that point is that people were buying up, rich people of course, buying up more and more of the stock as it went up. And as soon as the stock split and a lot more people were allowed to get in and to invest, it dropped and it tanked immensely. So all the little guys that were looking to get in, thinking they were going to be making a lot of money, instead the short sellers basically drove them out, making them lose money, and the short sellers won in the end of that Tesla Apple battle for a little bit. It's been taking a while for Tesla and Apple to get back in the rhythm of things. But just an FYI, if that's what's going to be happening on Cardano, just be careful putting too much money in Cardano just because you think it's going to split and people are going to buy more. If anything, people are probably putting a lot of money in Cardano right now. That way when it splits, they can sell a lot, make prices 4 times as much or however much more they're going to make just from the stock split or the coin offering splits. Who knows? We'll see what happens with Cardano. I still think it's probably going to get up to about $1.75, probably by April, and we'll see. Again, we'll have to see. Next, Avalanche. This was the one that I said was on the higher price side, and it's looking like an avalanche right now. So again, when I first called this, back when it was about $18, it shot up immediately, and again, almost to $60 per coin, and then it has slowly been drifting back all the way down to somewhere on the the 23-25 cent mark, or sorry, $23 mark, and which isn't a bad thing. See, a lot of people are looking at this going, oh my god, this is the end of it. And that part I was going to get to later. I don't think this is the end of it. This is where everything just pumped really quickly. A lot of people probably had a lot of money, threw it in there thinking it was going to do something, and sold off as soon as they made a lot of profits. I don't know where they moved their money to. Definitely wasn't Bitcoin, definitely wasn't Ethereum. Maybe they're holding it in fiat for now. I am not 100% sure. I'm not a psychic. I I don't go digging into other people's virtual wallets to see if I can find out exactly what they're doing. But I do want to see what is going to happen to this event. Alright, next one, Celsius. Kind of falling off the mark. A lot less performance than what I thought I was going to be doing. But then again, that could be a good thing. You know, looking at it compared to where it was before, you know, the lowest point was somewhere around 80. Currently around $5 or so. You know, it's not the worst thing that's ever happened to Celsius. Again, it's still a new coin. You know, only out since January, so we will have to see how this one's going to turn out. I thought it was going to be the ones that may have had a steady increase. And again, all these alt markets have been, you know, slowly fading. Not exactly 100% sure what the reasoning is on that. Just from a technical outlook of it, it does look like right now is at an optimal trade entry. Optimal trade entry meaning to pull this over here. I always like to measure things by Fibonacci. I always like to look at things from an investor standpoint. What is going to be at the best discount, that way I can get at the best price. And then once enough investors get in there at that price, they never want to see that price again. That way the retailers don't have a chance to get in at that price. So we're going to go from the low to the most recent high. Right now it did touch about the 80%. So who knows, this may be the point to where it actually could turn around and actually start going back up, and the upside. I think we might have to wait until the weekend is over, especially with weekend volatility. We never know what's going to happen. You know, last weekend I'll get to the Bitcoin story, but you know, I kind of pulled some money out of profits and got back in, but got back in after it got a little bit lower. Everybody thought I was crazy for getting out. They thought I was going. I didn't think so, and so I'm glad I did, because I got back in at a very better than what I would have. But no, those are the first top 10 that I threw out there. The next top 10 that I even introduced it more. And again, some of these I might be taking off would be the other ones. First one, Loop Ring. Again, line is where I was drawing these from whenever I first reported these about a week ago. Again, we had a very rough in the altcoin market this week, so a lot of these are probably going to see a downtrend. Mainly it's just because it's what happened with altcoin. It happens with everything. You can't predict the future, you can't predict the all. We just got lucky a couple weeks ago, to be honest. That's what really what happened. We just got lucky a couple weeks ago. We'll have to see how that one is going to play out. Next one is going to be Alpha. Yes, so many notifications on my phone about Alpha. Regarding Gate.io, they love sending you notifications and things just drop or rise 10% within 5 minutes. Wait, let you know, hey, your trade should be stable. If it's not, check it out. Trade it out of there. So that's kind of a cool feature that Gate.io has. If you don't have Gate.io, link is in the description. Basically, tell your friends to sign up as well. Everybody gets 40% commission each other. It could be split 30-10, could be split 20-20. Depends on how you all set it up. Mine's 20-20, just so I don't want to be the greedy person. Take 30 out of the working team. Try to, I believe in equality. We'll see what happens, but what is going on. with eventually. Now, excellent. Let's go with the Polka starter. I want to Polkadot chain. Again, I think when I first did this, somewhere around in this area. Yeah, been Valentine's Day weekend. Is there another weekend before that? Yeah, the 19th. I would probably read that the 19th to 20th. So, fell ever since I covered this last week. I think I mentioned it probably would fall a little bit further, and that's why I probably had this box here. This might be your area to be checking in, especially if you're going to be trying to go along with it. If you're going to be shorting the market, I'm not sure exactly where to look, but these do have kind of two relative equal highs, which I think would eventually try to push this up against those equal highs, maybe even get a little bit higher and then pull back. Because that's the way nature works. Works in the strangest ways. So after that, you have there we go. PRQ. So Parsenic. I am not 100% sure. Yeah, Parsec. There we go. Not Parsec. I know quite a few people have been talking about this coin. Again, one of the cheaper ones, just a little bit over $1. Not for sure the market cap. Don't kill me, please. But do you think a fairly decent one to watch out for? You know, I wouldn't put all of your eggs in one basket. Well, maybe for like an hour or two as it's rally, but even then, by the time you get everything transferred over, the rally may be over. Take what you got while you can in this one, and hopefully it works out for the best. That would US. So that would be Block. Blocks is the one that my friend told me about, told me to look an eye out for. So I definitely included it in this video just to show them if it was or was not going to be able to take off. Does not seem like it is going to, unfortunately. So I drew this box in here, let you know, hey, if it gets in this box and it's up, basically you know what to do. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm making up stuff. Yeah. International. Okay, no. New cipher. Definitely been a interesting. So here we FPM, this Phantom. It took off there for quite some time. I think it was probably around last week whenever I called it. Yeah, maybe a little bit earlier this week, and then it just started sliding down. After the slide down, now do you think we may have hit a cool off section? And we may be looking for it to come back. And the reason I say that is because look at Here, it's in the gun. too deep into thought on that one. Anyways, Phantom. Oh, let's see here at Janko. You want to know about buy orders? Buy orders for which ones that I've went through so far? Were you talking about Phantom? Really want me to get deep down into this, I can. And you see here, I am about 10 minutes left before YouTube wants to kick me off, and I will eventually have to make a part 2. And I don't mind making a part 2 at all, but if we're talking about buy limits, I can definitely do a buy limit for you. Let's see here. But I would look forward to seeing Phantom. That it just broke this low here, right? Red low. Okay, so going over this low. Didn't mean to use a GAN fan, I just meant to use trend line. And I screwed that up. Well, this right click. So what I see here with Phantom, we do have a really good price action in between from where that previous low was. And that previous low probably came down and hit a somewhat of an order block. It still kind of stayed below in this long-term area. I would personally like to see, especially where we have this deep down digging into here. Right, and then we have a little bit come up, and then we have another big red candle down in here, and then right after that it shoots up. So what we have here, a little bit of a displacement. I would like to see it come down into that area right there. So for coordinates here, do a Phantom, bring up the 7.9 price somewhere around 0.4. I would like to see with Phantom. Anything, let me see here, lower than that. We got somewhat equal lows. A little bit of a gap in between. I don't think it's going to get as low as 26 cents though. I think with Phantom it's still going to be a little bit further stronger than that. Even though we did have a big pullback, I think this weekend we may see it start to peter off a little bit. I don't think we're going to see it get as low as that though, especially when you have had a spike up earlier, a little bit of fallback, come back up. Whenever you see something like that, generally price kind of uses this almost as a support resistance point. Not necessarily support and resistance point, but kind of as a support and resistance point. This would be an area to where it definitely would not go lower than. It possibly could, just to see two spikes right here that are down below here. People that have been trailing their stop losses too close. Institutions take those people out of the game, right? If I take those people out of the game, they rally. Same thing, come back. It looks like an area to where you probably would put decent trade on. As soon as you do, put a stop loss too close. Institutions know that. Will take you right out of the game with that as well. So if I was to be looking at somewhere around Phantom, I would personally be looking around about 40 cents a share. And if I had a stop loss, I would actually probably make it a little bit of fairly generous size stop loss, somewhere around 28, 27 cents, something like that. Maybe even lower. But that's just personally what I would do with Phantom there. Gas here. Gas has been interesting to say the least. That's for sure. Whenever I first called this, it was around $3.08. Man, did it make a move after I first called it. And again, whenever you see something like this happen, these price rocket actions happen, be prepared. Be prepared for it to come back down and come back down with a vengeance. Again, it did, but it rebounded as well. It rebounded to a point where it was almost at the top of the market and then started coming back down again. I don't think it's going to get as low as that low. I have a feeling I'm going to get kicked off the internet very, very soon. And if that happens, I will be back with a second video. Just hang tight, and I'll start explaining more about either the last of these top 10, or I will start explaining the last of these top 10, and I will also get into my Bitcoin and my Ethereum price action runs and what happened to those and what we're going to expect from Bitcoin and Ethereum coming up. Now, one of the ones, well, here, let's just go ahead and let the time run out. The time is going to be running out soon, and instead of letting the time run out by itself and actually me talking and it cut off and not people understanding what I'm saying, I'm just going to go ahead and end this stream. After I end this stream, I will be right back, and I will be right back with the last little bit of last 5 coins on this the new top 10 list, and I will also be back with a price action lesson with Ethereum and Bitcoin. So hang tight. I will be right back because I know what YouTube's gonna do. At exactly 1 hour, YouTube loves to kick me off. I don't know what it is. If I don't have enough concurrent view, if I don't have enough people talking in the chat, if it's just not worth their time, I don't know what it is. But as soon as I hit that 1 hour mark with YouTube, I guarantee you that hold on, how far do you expect others to keep dropping? What do you mean by Ether? How far do Ether keep dropping? If you I'll see if I can try to get this answer in before I get kicked off. If not, hit subscribe, and I will definitely be going into this in this next video, because that's what I really want to get into is Ether and Bitcoin. I'll try to show you some tips and tricks about what the price action is happening in Ether. Long story short, I don't expect Ether to get below 1300, but it possibly could. But I don't think it will. I really don't.